If there's one reason to get someone into Red vs. Blue, it's the storyline of the Freelancers, a group of emotionally distraught, badass, wannabe super soldiers. If you enjoy stories about corrupt organizations taking advantage of its people, and those people rebelling against the ones in charge, then you'll definitely enjoy the story surrounding the Freelancers, because it's a unique take on the idea. I've covered pretty much all of the agents, except for, of course, my number one. And if you've been following along with my top 10 series, I'm sure you've already guessed who it is. Not only is my number one my favorite Freelancer, but they're also my favorite character in Red vs. Blue, as well as one of my favorite characters in all of media. Movies, TV shows, books, web series, comics, whatever. Number one is Washington. In my opinion, Washington single-handedly changed the series. I remember watching Recovery 1 for the first time and quickly thought to myself, what the hell am I watching? Is this Red vs. Blue? Who is this guy? When did things suddenly get so serious? Where are the jokes? Where are the goofy characters? Why is this guy just a male version of Tex? Is this like a spin-off or something? Agent Washington's debut introduced a notable tone shift to the series. Things became a lot more tense and serious because Wash was tense and serious. The addition of his character brought along more mystery, suspense, and drama, tones that were used very sparingly in the early seasons, but continued to be utilized in later ones. His debut also allowed us to venture into the darker territories of the RVB universe: Project Freelancer, the UNSC, the Great War, the Freelancer AI, and characters unaffiliated with Project Freelancer. Wash, like Tex, seemed like a proxy to explore those areas. He's a character that gave a comedy series a reason to become more serious and dramatic. I mean, go back and rewatch Recovery 1. You don't feel like you're watching classic Red vs. Blue. To some, this shift was upsetting, but for me, I grew way more interested in the RVB lore. I wanted to know more about the Freelancers, who their enemies were, all that good stuff. One of the main reasons I love Wash so much is his voice actor. Shannon McCormick is fucking phenomenal. He can give a performance that's funny, serious, vulnerable, and did I say badass? Badass too. All in such a natural way, it feels like he's not even trying. I never get tired of seeing Wash on screen or hearing his voice, because McCormick seems to invest so much into the character, and so much into the craft itself. He's given a job and he does it very well. He brought a lot of professionalism to the series. His performance convinced people to take the story more seriously, because he took the character seriously. He simply added more to the show, whatever that more is. I can tell you as a writer, when you're working with good actors, you want to give them really good material, just to see what they do with it. You anticipate their performance, you get excited about it. I think that's a reason RVB got better with season 6. With all these legit actors, writing the show got more fun, more interesting. I also think it's why audiences love the Freelancer saga so much. We're introduced to so many great actors. The other main reason I love Wash, like Carolina, is seeing his journey. It's amazing to witness everything he had to endure throughout the entire series, and how he managed to overcome all of those obstacles. Overcoming the loss of innocence, dealing with betrayal, overcoming revenge, living with regret, achieving redemption, or becoming a leader. For me, that's very encouraging and relatable. After a lot of hard work, pain, regret, understanding, tough choices, sacrifice, redemption, leadership, and self-acceptance, Wash was able to successfully grow into the man he wanted to be. Unlike nearly every other character in Red vs. Blue, Wash wasn't defined by some quirk or skill. His character, I would say, is purely defined by his journey, his development, not just one thing. You can't really say the same thing for other characters in the show. Sure, other characters get development, but they usually stay inside a box of their defining trait. Carolina will always be a bit of a workaholic. Tucker will always be known as the pervert. 479er will always be the great pilot. Meta will always be the scary brute. Felix the betrayer, Jax the annoying film dude, Simmons the nerd, Sister the slut, Delta the logical, Lopez the cynic, Griff the lazy, etc., etc. In a way, Wash was the relative everyman throughout the series. He was a normal guy with some badass skills, but there was nothing special about him, compared to the other freelancers at least. He didn't have an AI for long, he wasn't the best or worst at combat, or the smartest or the most resourceful. His armor design wasn't even unique. He was the dude that was there in the high school that was Project Freelancer. He didn't get to where he was because of some unique trait or skill or to be used in some sort of experiment even. He got to where he was because of hard work, like a normal person. However, unlike his teammates, Wash learned from his mistakes, as well as from the mistakes of others. He learned the truth about Project Freelancer, but also learned the consequences of letting revenge consume you. He learned the value of having friends you can trust, and what happens when you betray that trust. He learned that while a person may be dumber than you and weaker than you, they still deserve respect. He learned to accept his flaws and his failures, and continued to move forward. Now let's talk about Wash personality-wise. This is Red vs. Blue. Every single character has some quirky or dark quality about them. Wash, compared to other characters, doesn't really stand out too much. He can be socially awkward around others sometimes, but is generally well composed. He can also be very melodramatic and overly cautious when there's seemingly no need to be, although it helps in showcasing how serious and pragmatic Wash gets in moments of danger. He's always alert, which in turn makes everybody else alert. Carolina is this way too, but she uses her attentiveness for attack, a way to get an upper hand on the enemy. Wash uses his attentiveness for defense, remaining cautious in order to protect his friends. If I can describe Wash in one word, it would be growth. The writing for his character is fantastic. He's the only character in the whole series that consistently gets character development. His character is never dormant. Every writer, every season does something new with Wash. In Recovery 1, we're introduced to his character, and learn a little bit of his backstory. In Season 6, we learn more about Wash, and begin to see the cracks in his cold personality. He can be funny, caring, and very noble. We learn his motivations and why he wants to take down Project Freelancer. We also see that he cares and can relate to the Reds and Blues, being one of the very few characters they'll take orders from. In Season 7, Wash becomes vengeful, selfish, and more cutthroat, despite having minimal screen time in the season. All the pain and betrayal he endured from his past is caught up to him, and he ends up betraying the only individuals who trusted him. In Season 8, Wash becomes a full-on antagonist, working with the meta of all people, constantly threatening the Reds and Blues. He's even colder than before, but that noble soldier is still in there and manages to resurface in the end. In Season 9, we see a totally different side of Wash's personality. He's goofy, more social, albeit awkward, and very naive. Instead of the cold and no-nonsense Wash from the recollection, we get a more friendly and optimistic character. Season 10 shows us a blend of pre-Freelancer Wash and post-Freelancer Wash, how he's changed after becoming a permanent member of the Reds and Blues. In the present-day sections, Wash seems to have accepted his past, and is shown to be more relaxed, less mission-oriented, placing his new friends above all else. However, he does bring out that killer when he needs to. In Season 11, Wash grows into a leader and becomes more of a protective big brother figure. In Season 12, Wash confronts and overcomes his past, fully accepting himself, his mistakes, and his flaws, after seeing what he could have turned into in Locust. This time, he seems to be a mentor figure to the other Reds and Blues. This continues in Season 13, where Wash is a full-blown leader, gaining the trust and respect of 2 full armies. In Season 15, where the story continues, he grows closer to Carolina, helping her move on, but later suffers from a severe injury. This point is particularly interesting, because after Wash gets hurt, we see how the other characters react, showing how much of an effect Wash has had on them throughout the series. Season 16 shows how all of his injuries are catching up with him, and how this one may be permanent. And Season 17 displays Wash using his past to fix the future, as well as accepting his injury and learning to move forward. I think Wash exemplifies that a person is a lot stronger than they think they are. Life constantly throws obstacle after obstacle after obstacle at us, and we get confused, anxious, scared, regretful, thinking we're on the right path but getting thrown for a loop. Constantly trying to change ourselves just to feel normal. I've done this hundreds of fucking times. You don't have to do that. Ask yourself, are you changing for the better, or are those changes making you feel worse? Overcoming your demons, accepting your past mistakes, and finding the right community, people that genuinely care about you. Those are very noble goals to have, especially as you grow older. It's not about being the best. It's about being better for yourself. This is your life, and you choose who you want to be at the end of the day. That's what I learned from Wash. You may not be the best, or the strongest, or the smartest, but you still matter, and you must defend your identity and your morals with your life, because there are a lot of people who try to convince you to be something you don't need to be. It's your responsibility to find out who you are, what you really want, and what people you want beside you on your journey. That's what I learned from Washington. He's a character that shows me that everybody makes mistakes. He's a character that shows me that it's okay to be me.
For as long as I can remember, I've been lied to, taken advantage of, shot in the back, and left for dead. And now, I have a way out of all of this. What in the hell makes you think that I'm going to ask for it? Why are you guys helping me?
You'll help us, Wash. That only makes sense.
Yeah, plus we need to even the teams. And I couldn't put up with Caboose constantly asking, can we keep him? Can we keep him?
For whatever it's worth, thanks. Don't do that.
Wash, what are you doing?
Protecting my friends. Now lower the weapon.
You're siding with them?
Wash, I don't understand. We found the director. We can make him pay. This is what we wanted.
All I want is for you to leave. I've already been responsible for enough of their problems in the past, and I'll be damned before I let you cause any more. But the fact that you're trying so hard to understand me breaks your entire act. No matter how hard you may want to be, you're not a machine. You're a murderer, but you hide behind the idea in your head because you're too afraid to take responsibility for what you've done. I know I used to be a real piece of shit, but at least I'm trying to do something about it. It's never too late to start over again.
Do you really believe that, David?
Well, I don't know if rock singer is really in your future, but yeah.
Thank you guys for following me throughout this very long journey, if you want to call it that. That's my number one favorite Freelancer, favorite RVB character, and one of my all-time favorite characters in all of media. So what do you guys think about Wash? Is he your favorite Freelancer or is he not? Who would you put as your number one? And who are your top 10 favorite Freelancers? And if you haven't yet, go ahead and check out the rest of my top 10. The playlist should be in the description below. As always, stay safe, have fun, like, subscribe, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good shit. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.